What's going on? How's everyone doing?
Shout out to Colin. Everybody else who's cool with Colin.
Chipkey! I didn't say.
Get your popcorn and your Coca-Cola and relax.
Anyway, tell Colin I'm ready.
What's going on? This is Colin. How's everybody doing? I hope you're having a great day so far. Happy Tuesday. Happy Tuesday. We had a fun day today. There was a lot of fun in court today. Yeah. Attorney Taupe, she was the subject of a lot of conversation today, and she wasn't even in court. We're still going to watch that case. That's the first case on Judge Simpson's docket, or my video on Judge Simpson's docket. And then we have a couple smaller clips that I don't think anyone else has played. I kind of was trying to find some unique content since I know a lot of people have already seen the Judge Simpson clip. So, just try to find something else that no one else has played. So hopefully I succeeded. Anyways, thank you guys so much for joining me tonight. Hopefully you guys had a great day. Members Monday was a blast last night, so thank you to all the members. And for those of you that don't know, I am in Canada. I am visiting Heather, my beautiful girlfriend, and I am headed home tomorrow morning. So tonight was kind of a 50-50 shot whether or not I was going to stream, but Heather surprised me and took off work today. So we hung out all day, which, I don't feel that bad about streaming tonight now. Still slightly guilty because she's sitting on the couch watching Walking Dead, having a good old time. So yeah. Anyways, if anyone would like to, throw me a couple dollars for gas money, it is about a 24-hour trip, so it's kind of up there. But no pressure whatsoever. If whatever, yeah, I just threw it there in case you guys felt inclined. And speaking of which, Legal Fiction, thank you so much for your donation. That is very generous of you. You are awesome, man. Thank you. Very generous of you. Great way to get the night started. So thank you so much. All right, you guys ready to watch some Judge Simpson? I'm ready to watch some Judge Simpson. Let's watch some Judge Simpson. Before I hit that play button, you know what to do. Hit the like and subscribe. Do your jump kick backflips. Let's go.
Fixing housing 401k plan versus Erica Ward and Aaron Ward.
Yeah, I guess I should give you guys kind of a summary of what's going on. I always assume people watch every single one of my streams and all of my videos. That's not the case. But yeah, if you guys don't know what's going on here, this couple they're renting some kind of, I don't know, some kind of stable for horses, I think is what it is. I don't know, but they're technically a tenant. This is a landlord-tenant case. The landlord's trying to evict them, essentially, is what's going on. They had an attorney, the tenants had an attorney who was, I hate saying this about attorneys, but she was god-awful. And she essentially got kicked off the case. Mid-case, she just got kicked off. And yeah, so that's what's going on here. Her name is Mrs. Taupe. She's been everywhere on the court channels. But so they're back today. That's all I'm going to say. There we go. I think that summarizes it. This is their 7th hearing, and that's the complete summary of it. I was able to summarize it in 30 seconds. Okay, let's go.
I don't know why. Okay.
Who is
Good morning.
Good morning.
John, I'm not sure about that case. Good morning, Your Honor. Steve, we have the.
Yeah, Ed, when you stay for months at a time, I like having my car here. It is kind of a pain in the ass to drive, but I would rather have my car here since I'm here for so long. If I was only here for a week, yeah, I would fly, but I'm not.
Plan of fixing housing 401k.
Erica Ward.
Aaron Ward.
Thank you. You may be seated. Folks, you were trying to figure out your case.
I was asked a question. I requested our arrest thing. Do I have to stay in here? Or?
Oh, bless your heart. No, we're adjourned out.
Okay.
And-
Then I go out here, I'll report it to Arbor West.
Okay. Are you still, let me just ask you this. What's your name?
I'm still living in Arbor West. I'm part of the Arbor West.
Okay, so you're still there. Okay. Have you been dealing with the tenants union and,
I've been talking with them, guys.
okay, so what I would suggest you do, because Arbor One,
All right, this has nothing to do with the case that we're watching, so I don't mind pausing it. Vic, thank you so much for the PayPal. And I did want to say something to you, Vic. I don't know if how I answered your question last night came across as a little rude. I've been replaying it in my head over and over throughout the course of the day. Vic, if you want to email me, I will. I'll be more than happy to break down everything that you were asking last night. I mean, yeah, I'll be more than happy to do that. So if you want to email me, or if you're on Discord, you can send me a message, and I'll be more than happy to tell you what's going on. You have asked a lot, so I feel like if you want to know, I'll tell you. And German Jer, thank you so much for the super chat. I appreciate it. Puppy surgery today. Send good vibes. It said, no, T's and P's for your puppy. I'm so sorry to hear that. Hopefully it's something minor, and they recover very quickly from it. But yeah, sorry to hear that, German Jer.
Arbor West falls into sort of a different category than the ones that have to be vacated. I think that's what they were telling me.
That's what Henry, I talked with him like about a week ago.
Okay. So I guess if you don't have to remain here. If you have any questions, then you need to direct it to them. Did you post any money, just out of curiosity, did you post any money into our escrow account? You did not. Okay. All right. Very good. Okay. Thanks, guys. Okay, folks, where are we on this case?
Your Honor, we're here for our 7th hearing in this matter.
Yeah, I just the way that I didn't think I came across last night is I have been talking to her. So and I don't want you to think that I'm ignoring the fact that she hasn't been here. So I just, that's what I wanted you to know. And I wish I said that last night. So I feel like it may have came across like I didn't care that she hasn't been here, but I have been speaking with her. So that's kind of what I wanted to say.
If you recall,
And you might be to 10 by the time you guys get done, but go ahead.
But at the last hearing, we had our motion. It was a motion hearing.
Yes.
And you stopped it, and it essentially became a settlement conference.
Yes.
Nothing came out of that. It didn't settle that day. How about that? After that hearing, the tenants sent 2 notices of repairs, which one of them matches one of the pending motions that's before you. Our response to that motion would apply to the second notice of repairs. And Your Honor, also, I learned on Friday afternoon, I received an email from Donna Tope with the filed correction of defendant's response to plaintiff's motion for summary disposition that was filed on their behalf.
You received what?
I received an email from Donna Tope with what appears to be, and it's a filing. It's called Correction of Defendant's Response to Plaintiff's Motion for Summary Disposition that was filed on their behalf.
Is it in here? I did not. That was on Friday you received it?
I received that on Friday afternoon. And Ms. Tope.
No, I got there.
I may be able to do that.
Hold on 1 second.
Your Honor, I also have the email from Ms. Tope, which it appears like she's still representing.
I don't.
Oh, there it is.
January 14th. They just threw it in the file. All right. Okay. I did not get a judge's copy of it, but I'm just. So. Okay, go ahead. I scanned it, but it's basically her affidavit, it looks like.
Your Honor, it appears to be a supplemental corrected affidavit by Ms. Tope. It's blamed on a computer glitch from the previous affidavit that she filed in response to landlord's MSD. I have many problems with the filing. At December 19th hearing, you ordered a moratorium on plaintiff's motion or party's motion practice, and it does not appear that they asked you for leave to file this corrected response to our MSD. Tope filed this on behalf of the wards, even though she was required to withdraw from this case, and she did withdraw from this case. Tope's filing in her email, which again, I have the email, which demands.
Taco, good to see you. I just mentioned you to Heather the other night. We were watching. I don't know. We're both doom scrolling, and I don't remember if it was her or I came across someone who was dressing up their lizard. I don't know what kind it is, so I'm just going to say lizard. I was like, oh yeah, that's Taco and Yoshi. It wasn't you, but I thought of you, and I mentioned you to her. Anyways, it's good to see you. Hopefully you're well.
Handed a copy of landlord's MSD, so it appears that she's still acting as counsel on behalf of the tenants. And tenants are responsible for their filings. They can't plead ignorance to this. The filing and Tope's affidavit are dated January 8th. That's 2 days after our last hearing. The proof of service falsely states that it was filed with the court and served on landlord on January 8th. The court stamp shows that it was actually filed on January 14th. And again, I didn't receive a copy of this filing until Friday afternoon, right before MLK holiday. Your Honor, I can address the substance of this corrected affidavit. It appears that she's still making the same residential lease argument that, as you recall, Your Honor, you warned the tenants that if they continue to make this argument that they could be subject to sanctions. They made the argument, and they continue making the argument.
Let's deal procedurally, I guess, before I get to the substance of it.
I can address the
So,
substance.
well, yeah, I know you can, but I want to try to figure out why this is here.
Okay.
You want me to address that?
Yeah, please.
I had no idea as to procedurally. All I did when we left is said, your affidavit was like glitched, incorrect, you've got stuff. And so I didn't ask her to do anything. She's not representing us. She just said, hey, just so you know, I fixed my affidavit. And that's as a witness, not as a lawyer. So what she says in her affidavit as a witness, I didn't have anything to do with it, and I didn't even realize it would be an issue. I told her that her affidavit was not correct at all. And that is how she.
Yeah, something tells me that there was more to that conversation. We're about to hear it. Colin, thank you for hanging out with us and welcome. Thank you. And Taco, yeah, close. I'm hoping to hit 24,000 by the end of the month. That's what my goal is. And then 25,000 next month. We'll see. Real quick, I want to catch up. We got some milestones. Lisa, thank you so much for the 7 months. That is awesome. Thank you. And JP Jazz for the 13. Thank you both. You guys are awesome.
Followed up. She is not representing us, Your Honor.
This doesn't make much sense to me as to why she did this. She's not here to answer.
I have the email, which it appears that she's still acting on your behalf in this case.
Hold on a second. Can you show, were they CC'd on that, do you know? Or
They have not. They
can you
sent-
show them and then I want to see the email? Where's, oh my goodness.
That's fine.
I don't think it's a refiling. I just think it's a refiling of the original one with the correct affidavit. So I don't know
Okay.
the specifics of the law, but to me, it just looks like a corrected, something that she had already filed. Actually, the correction to what we filed.
She really just needs to stop talking. And I don't think, unless you're asked a question, you might want to just not talk.
Mr. and Mrs. Ward, I guess it would be one thing if you had filed something saying, here's the corrected affidavit. And if you went to Ms. Tope and said, this is all wrong, here's the corrected affidavit, and you guys sign off and you file. That's one thing. This is a whole other thing along when you take it in the context of that email. I don't know.
Ed, I actually thought about you. I watched the first half of that trial. When they broke for lunch, they never came back to YouTube. They took the stream down and that was it. So I don't know what happened. I meant to ask you when I saw your name. I was thinking I need to ask Ed if whatever happened to the second half of that. But yeah, it was pretty boring from what I saw. And I did think about you. That happens. I've driven all the way to Judge Simpson's court and the case didn't happen before. So yeah, like that. I've gone to see Judge King in Detroit and he stayed home remote. It just happens. That happens. Did we just get a Biggin raid? Biggin! Thank you so much for the raid, my friend. I appreciate it. You're awesome. Welcome to all the Biggin raiders. This is a great night. Great night. To all the Biggin raiders, we are watching the landlord-tenant case in Judge Simpson's courtroom. A lot of people have already covered this today. So thank you so much for joining me. I do appreciate it. This is the attorney that was essentially kicked off the case. She left last time, and she's still around, kind of filing stuff on behalf of her clients that they're not clients anymore, but they kind of are because she's still representing them in circuit court. It's a mess, and Judge Simpson's about to get real pissed. We're almost there. But Biggin, thank you again for the raid. I do appreciate it.
Why she's still communicating with counsel. It doesn't make any sense to me.
Did not ask her to do that at all. And I understand what you're saying. It would have made sense for her to correct her affidavit and hand it to us so that we could submit it. I have no idea why she did that.
Boo, boo, Bill, boo. No, that was actually clever.
So here's where we get into another thing. she filed this without your permission.
Yes. Believe me, I'm
Have you-
staying as far away from
Have,
help as possible.
did you read the affidavit?
The initial one,
No, I understand the initial one. Did you read this doc?
no, actually, I didn't, I did not.
I did not.
Updated, I mean,
Updated one.
because I didn't even realize that initially when we submitted it, that we submitted something that had pages mixed up.
Your Honor, they're still responsible for their filings.
Yeah, but I don't know if that's their filing.
She mentioned about the pages being mixed up. Their response to our MSD, they are still responsible for their filings. That's all.
No, I understand that, but I don't know how I hold them responsible for things that were filed without their knowledge, is what they're telling me. That's the difficulty I'm having. Right? Is that procedurally, if Ms. Tope came along and filed this, but had gone to them and said, here, this is, I see what you're saying, so I need to correct this. Here's this, I'm going to file this. That might be one thing, but that's not what I'm hearing here. I'm hearing that this was filed. You guys didn't have any knowledge as to its contents.
Correct. I did know that she corrected it after the fact and submitted it after she did it. I had no idea any implications that would come of that.
You had
I hear
knowledge
now
that she
that
did, that she did what?
That she fixed it after the fact, but she never told me that she was.
What
filed
does that
report.
mean? That you had knowledge that she fixed it after the fact?
She told me she did it after she sent it to them, but it was already done. She never asked me if she could do it.
So after, when was that?
At some point after they received it.
But they just got it.
We received it Friday afternoon. Even though it's dated on there January 8th.
Yeah, I would have to look. I don't know.
And then
You'd have to look at what?
My email.
Look at your email. I want to know. Need 14 days for an order for the house.
Actually, there's nothing in here, so she must have just told me that she would fix it. If this is any,
Yeah, this is part 7. This is the 7th time they've been in front of Judge Simpson. Yeah, and you know what? Never mind. I'm not going to say anything else.
help in understanding my brain frazzle, I also have a case of strangles at the farm.
What?
If this helps you understand my brain frazzle, I also have a case of strangles at the farm.
Okay.
Your Honor, I would add in the context that Ms. Tope is still representing them in the circuit court action.
Yep. Miss Tope is still their attorney on a different case in a different court. So now you have to ask, do they really think that they didn't know they were signing or she was filing this for them? Yeah. Yeah.
Yes.
My understanding was that we were here today to continue settlement talks and that the settlement that we
ma'am,
presented on
ma'am.
the 6th was rejected.
Right.
Okay.
Might be. And I may have called the parties back and said, look, where are we? I mean, counsel kind of let me know where his client, but the problem I'm having and what is creating a bit of a difficulty here is that there are documents that are being filed in this action, not by you.
Nor with my permission. I don't know how
Enough, 10. 14.
14.
It's 14 exactly.
Yes.
Was there anything recently filed in the circuit court action council?
No, Your Honor. Yes, our witness list, yes.
Right, okay, but I mean, anything else by Ms. Tope that was,
I filed my witness list and then she filed her witness list hours after.
got it.
I can find that date. But to my knowledge, Ms. Tope is still representing the wards in the circuit court action. And it seems like they are still having communication in this case.
Yeah, and the communication I don't necessarily have a problem with. What I have because I don't know that I could stop that in any event, but what I do have a problem with, so things are filed before this court, presumably on your behalf, but without your knowledge. That just it. And then counsel has to spend time looking at it and trying to respond to something that you guys didn't file. And you don't even know what it is at this point.
Today?
I don't think either one of them said they've seen it before today. Did you see it, ma'am?
We talked about it, that she was updating it, but neither one of us read it.
No.
Because you
I
didn't-
get that there can be these conversations,
Yes.
right? I mean, and I don't have a problem that she was going to update whatever.
Right.
Have you
No.
seen what was filed in court on your behalf?
No.
Don't jinx it, Felix. Don't jinx it.
Do you know where Miss Tope is right now? Because I'm going to tell you, I'm a bit livid, just a bit.
Can you take that up with her?
Well,
Yeah, I do know where she is. She's on speakerphone right now, Your Honor. She's listening to everything you're saying. Oh, that'd be hilarious. That's not where she is. She's not that. I don't know. But that was just me making up a story.
I intend to, but here's the problem. Yes, I don't think the parties, and I'll just say this on the record, I don't think the parties were all that far apart in terms of how this matter could be resolved. That's just this court's view. But I also have these motions before me that I need to rule on. But at each, and so we come back here, regardless of what the parties thought may happen, might not, whatever, right? She then interjects herself, and quite frankly, interjects herself in a way that for an attorney to do it, for anybody to do it is a bit appalling. For an attorney to do it is tenfold that. Because in effect, let's look at it this way. If Ms. Topper represented you, she shouldn't be filing anything with the court that you have not reviewed or she has not gone through with you and you have not seen. But she's now filed something not as the attorney on your behalf, and you have no idea what it is.
I understand. I should have taken her affidavit and had Aaron submit it.
I do remember that. And no, I never figured out what that is, but it hasn't stopped. The times just changed. So it generally happens around, so I want to say 12:28 now. It's no longer during the stream, but it still happens. And yeah, but because it doesn't bother me anymore, I've stopped pestering my ISP, but who knows? Now that we're talking about it, and the time's about to change again. Ed, you're jinxing me.
That's a correction.
Well, I'm not going to tell you what you should do because I haven't looked closely at what she submitted vis-a-vis the other part, but you can't respond to her affidavit.
As a witness, I thought, because she was a witness to the
No,
issues.
but the affidavit is submitted as part of a motion for summary disposition. So if we go forward with the motion for summary disposition, you don't know what that says. Right?
Right. I mean, I have a general idea, but no, specifically, no.
You don't know what it says.
Correct.
The only general idea you may have is what Ms. Tope in the moment told you she was going to do. But you don't know what it says, do you?
No, not specifically.
Yeah, that was at least one of the official reasons why she withdrew from the case, and then she kept coming back. So then Judge Simpson essentially kicked her out of the courthouse. That's kind of what happened officially, but she yeah, it was a lot uglier than that.
So if I have counsel respond to the substance of this affidavit, I just want to be clear. You can't respond to the substance of what's been filed.
Okay.
No, I mean, that was a question.
Oh, I cannot give you the specifics of the substance of what was filed, other than it was the affidavit, and I know in general, as a boarder, what happened with her horse and the injuries sustained due to the fencing. And the witness that she is to the collapsing buildings and the fallen trees and the heavy equipment.
But this is wasting the court's time, and it's wasting plaintiff's time.
I don't need to.
What?
I don't need to talk about it. I thought you were asking me.
Well,
No spoilers. No one spoil this.
The problem is maybe I'm a bit unclear. Council receives this on Friday. That requires him to do certain things, increasing the cost to his client. He comes here and then has to spend time in this courtroom making an argument regarding something that you don't know anything about, but are connected enough to the person that filed something on your behalf. That's a problem.
Your Honor, I would just also add, this has been a pattern. We've had hearings set and tenants file motions and send them to me 2 days before the hearing. This is a pattern.
No, I get it. I get that part of it. And most of that stuff we can sort through, but when that was happening,
I think we got the motion for summary judgment the day we were coming in here. You, no?
well, you may have gotten it, but I think somebody.
Yeah, and the file wasn't noticed for the same day.
I'm gonna let you go ahead and argue your motion. All right, go ahead.
Your Honor, would you like me to address the affidavit?
Yeah, I knew we were gonna get there. Yeah, I'm gonna let you do your motion. It's a fair question as to whether or not.
Your Honor,
Hang on a second. The court's gonna stand in brief recess.
all right.
Back in the case of fixed housing.
Yeah, fade out. Editing skills on fire.
401k plan versus the wards. Here's what I'm going to do, much to your dismay, because I'm going to give you an 8th date. Okay. An 8th date to come back, an 8th time. But I am adjourning the motions for summary disposition. I am also, after some consultation as to some of the ethics that have been involved, which is why I was taking the rather prolonged break, that I'm going to set an order to show cause for Donna Tope, to show cause why she should not be held in contempt for the filing of this. I would just place Ms. Ward, I would place you on notice that you have made a specific representation to this court that you had no knowledge of any of that. And so I'm holding to that representation in terms of setting this notice or setting this order to show cause. Counsel for the plaintiff, in the event that the court would award sanctions and or costs, I would need a billing from you, an appropriate billing from you, laying out from certainly the time Friday, time that you received this, what you had to put in to do that, and your work up to that, as well as what other stuff you may have to deal with this being adjourned out 2 weeks to that day. I will then adjourn it for the motions and for the order to show cause to February 3rd at, you wanted me at 2
p.m.
At 2 p.m.
Can I hear again what those two purposes are?
One of the motions that I'd like to rule on at some point, but the other is for an order to show cause as to why Ms. Tope should not be held in contempt of court and or sanctioned.
On that second note, how does that have anything to do with me and
Oh, it certainly does, because here's going to be part of your problem, as it may be, and that is, I will have to make a determination if Miss Tope gets here and says that that was filed with your full knowledge and authority, because you have represented to the contrary. And so I would suspect that when the two of you get here, you're going to be very much at odds.
So you're gonna reach out to her separately, though I don't have,
Oh, no, yeah, we will be sending a little piece of paper commanding her to be here.
but has. Wait. Okay, can I ask one question before you adjourn today?
Yes, ma'am.
Plaintiff's lawyer mentioned that I had reached out with 2 additional complaints. And I just need to understand what my legal process moving forward would be when I have a fence fall over or don't have water, because those weren't additional complaints from the past. Like,
You
I'm
can,
still
you
there.
can certainly reach out
I'm
with
just letting you know.
whatever, right, you can reach out with whatever repairs. I certainly would have been in a position to kind of address that today, but
I realize that my landlord is probably not, as usual, gonna do anything about it, but I want it documented that, hey, on this date, the wind blew this section of fencing over. It just keeps happening. So that's okay if email him.
you could certainly, you can email him
Okay,
as long as it's you emailing him. I would say.
yeah, it's no motions or anything.
All right.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Sir, was there anything else?
I would just say when you email me, put that it's for this action, because Donna Tope is still representing you in the circuit court action.
Put
So
that, just
be clear what you're talking about.
the
Because
law of the lease.
there are two actions.
So regarding my lease, these things are falling over. Is that
I
correct?
think what he's trying to say is that you are directing your concern regarding this case,
Right.
as opposed to the case that you are represented by Miss Tope.
No, but
Because
there's a
presumably,
so,
well, but so listen to what I'm saying. That it's regarding this case, because presumably if the complaint were to be in that other case, he would be receiving a communication from Miss Tope.
okay.
I'm trying to make
And-
sure I'm following.
Yeah, right. Because he can't respond to you in a case in which you are represented by an attorney. So you have to make it clear that this is the case you're dealing with.
Okay.
All right, folks? Thank you.
Thank you.
And
We're watching you shake your head.
I guess one other thing. I was not aware of that filing because it had gotten put into the file and there was no judge's copy that was presented to the court. So it did not come to me. But
All right, I think that's it. Yep. All right. We get another hearing. We get a contempt hearing now. Oh, it's actually a motion to show cause why she shouldn't be held in contempt. So she might be walking out of there with a hefty fine. Usually when lawyers are found in contempt, they're fined. They're not put in jail. I think you'd have to do something really egregious to be put in handcuffs as an attorney. When it comes to court, like you're practicing. I'm not saying an attorney can get away with the crime. Anyways, before we move on, MB, thank you so much for the PayPal. I do appreciate it. I'm not napping. I feel like I talked a lot during that clip. Maybe I didn't. Yeah, anyways, I wasn't napping though. What was I going to say? I don't remember. Oh, I was thanking MB for the PayPal. For those of you that came in late, I am currently in Nova Scotia visiting Heather, and I head back to Ohio tomorrow morning. That is why I pinned the my link tree. So just in case you guys were wondering why that was up there. Okay, let's move on. I think Vic, I don't know if you're still here, Vic. I responded to your donation with a text with my email. So maybe you can see that. All right, anyways, let's move on to the next case. I don't remember what the next one is, so don't worry. No idea what the next one is. We're all going to figure it out together.
People versus Haley. This is file number 256876. The record should reflect Mr. Haley's present today by video from the Otsego County Jail. If I could have counsel put your appearances on.
People, later on behalf of Mr. Haley.
All right, Mr. Brown, this is set for a motion to withdraw.
It is.
Are you appointed in this case?
I was appointed in this case. This is at my client's request. He did submit a request to Mr. Slough as well, which I don't know if the court received that, but I was notified on the 16th, which I believe was Friday, that request has been denied. Mr. Haley has advised me that he may be looking, I guess he could expound on this, trying to retain Mr. Jeffrey Weiger as his private counsel. At this point, in my meetings with him, we have gone over this case. We've reviewed video footage, different things like that. I'm a little, unless he definitely just wants to retain private counsel, confused, because we seem to agree on pretty much everything as far as the facts of the case, the strategy, the trial going forward. I've explained to him some of my strategies.
Are you having trouble hearing Mr. Haley?
Yes, Your Honor, he's turning up the volume.
Okay. All right, go ahead, Mr. Brown. Maybe if you can just speak up a little bit too, because the microphone's over here.
I can hear fine now.
Okay.
There are some things.
I am from Cincinnati, Ohio. Heather lives in Halifax, Nova Scotia. I have been in Halifax for the last about 4 weeks now, and I am headed back home tomorrow morning. That is the lore. Yeah, I think that's it.
Things that he wanted me to do, which I did go over those with him. I don't want to get into our conversations, but he seemed to understand certain reasons why I might not want to do those, that it might actually hinder the case. There was some witnesses that he wanted me to contact that he thought would be very helpful. Two of them I am trying to track down, but all I have is a name. I don't have an address or a phone number. I did contact one and did explain to Mr. Haley I would not call that person. I believe it would be extremely detrimental to his case. So I'm at a little bit of a loss. I did file the motion to withdraw because that is what he wanted me to do, and he is trying to get new counsel. But at least the way I see the case and in my conversations with him, I think we both agree on the way it's headed forward, and I was going to go down and go over some things that we are going to need to do if this trial proceeds on Monday. But if he can retain new counsel, I would definitely not want to infringe upon his right to do that.
All right, Mr. Haley, we have your case set for trial starting next Monday. I'm not going to appoint a new counsel for you. We've went through that process. I don't think there's grounds based on what Mr. Brown has stated today. So your only other option would be to hire a different lawyer for yourself. If you did that, I'm sure that that lawyer would want to have some time to prepare for your case. And that means that we'd have to adjourn that trial, and you are going to spend more time sitting in jail waiting for a trial date. So how do you want to proceed with your case?
Well, as Mr. Brown said, we have not had a good working relationship. He makes promises he doesn't follow through with. I made a request quite some time ago to change the attorney to avoid this eventuality.
Yeah, and I understand that, and that request was addressed, and
Yeah, I saw that, and I decided to mind my own damn business with this one. I don't want to ask. I've got so many questions, but I'm gonna keep them to myself. Yeah, we're just gonna skate right on by this comment. He can break it down if he wants.
it was determined that whatever, differences you have, they aren't significant enough that it would warrant having a new counsel appointed.
I was completely unaware of that, Your Honor. I thought I had no idea that it had been denied.
Well, that's where we're at.
Understood.
So, again, I mean, your options at this point are to proceed with trial with Mr. Brown next Monday, or you can try to hire your own counsel. And again, I'm sure that any attorney coming into the case now is not going to want to have to try and go forward with the trial, especially given the nature of the charges here, without any time to prepare.
Understood, Your Honor, but I do not have funds to hire another attorney.
Okay, so I'm going to proceed with going forward with the trial next Monday then, and I encourage you to communicate as much as you can with Mr. Brown between now and then, and address whatever differences that the two of you have. But we need to go forward with the trial.
Understood, Your Honor.
Okay. All right, Mr. Brown, anything further?
No, Your Honor, and I will be contacting his son, and if I can't get anywhere there, I am going to ensure that he has clothes for trial.
Okay.
I don't think he brought any. Mr. Haley, you didn't bring clothes into the jail, did you?
Only what I had on. And
Okay.
I asked, and those aren't even here for some reason.
Okay, so Mr. Brown, again, yeah, I'll just ask that you take whatever steps necessary to make sure that you're ready to proceed with Mr. Haley's case next Monday, and that Mr. Haley has street clothes. I believe we've already had jury instructions submitted.
We did them a lot.
So Mr. Brown, if you could just submit any review the prosecutor's instructions, if there are any that are different or ones that you need to add, if you can just submit those.
Yes, Your Honor.
To the court. I believe, Mr. Rolla, how many are you still anticipating that we had set for 4 days?
Yeah, I thought that was a weird question too. Did you bring clothes with you to jail? You know what? I didn't pack my bag. Yeah, no. Unless he was ordered to turn himself in, and then he knew he was going to go to trial, so they asked him specifically to bring clothes, which I don't know if that's ever happened, but it was a weird question from the judge. Did you pack your overnight bag?
Yeah, Judge, and with the number of witnesses, the number of lab personnel, I think it's going to take all of 4 days.
Okay.
We might need one of our attorneys, one of our house counsel to answer that, but I feel like more often than not, when I see clothes brought, like the topic of clothes brought up for a defendant in court, it's to the defense attorney, and it's on the defense attorney to make sure that their client's dressed. I've seen that more often than not. I don't know if some courts just have, random extra suits in a closet where they can, I don't know. I really don't know, but I want to say it might fall on the defense attorney to make sure their client's dressed. But I don't know if that's true in every jurisdiction.
All right. Mr. Roll, anything further for the record today?
Not in this case, thank you, Your Honor.
All right. Mr. Haley, do you have any other questions today?
No, Your Honor.
Okay. All right. Thank you. That's all for this hearing. The court is going to disconnect at this time.
All right. All right. We got one more case. And then see, FYI, girlfriends. FYI, Colin, girlfriends are more fun when the couple's fun parts are in the same place. Oh, ha 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 ha. Yeah. Why do you think I stay here for so long when I come? Yeah. Anyways, moving on to the last case. Let's go.
Cause number 41E2507405, Afifa Investments LLC versus Jesse James Galloway III and all occupants. Jesse James Galloway III. Okay, if you'll unmute, please, sir.
Good morning, Your Honor.
Good morning. This
Good
looks
morning.
like it's in probate. Is it in probate?
Yes, ma'am. Basically what's happening is my sister used an effective deed. I mean, she basically didn't go to a lawyer. It's three of us. It's me, my little sister, and my big sister, Sheree. She's over the estate. But I don't know, we wasn't informed about no selling or anything. Only thing I know, somebody came up to me talking about changing my locks and my doors. I have not been informed by anything. I even reached out to Vaco, whatever it's called. I'm sorry, I'm not disrespecting, and I have no disrespect towards them because they're doing a job they're supposed to do. But she didn't go about it the right way. And basically she used a fraudulent deed and filed a fraudulent deed to try to sell the house. And like I said, the other two, me and my little sister Lucretia, we don't know anything about this, and we trying to figure out what's happening, and we can't even get in touch with Cherie to even try to communicate. Like I said, I tried to reach out to her and I tried to reach out to the company, and nobody wants to give me any answers. So right now I'm trying to get me a lawyer, and I'm gonna go and I'm trying to file me a change of executive because we trying to figure out what's going on and trying to figure out how you selling these properties and nobody else is getting any revenue from it. It's just her.
And you're living in the property right now?
Yes, ma'am. My little sister comes too, cause she's in New Braunfels. She comes and visits. So we trying to make it a house for everybody. But being that Cherie doesn't stay in San Antonio and we do, I guess she feels like, hey, whatever with that concept.
And was there a will?
No, ma'am. We all went to probate. We signed it off. It's a lot of things that she did fraudulently, ma'am. I got the paperwork, and I gotta send it to the courthouse. As far as her she changed up things on the probate papers that she did in handwriting. Even this deed that she did with this company is done in handwriting. It's like, I don't know what's going on, but it's like seemed like a desperation thing to where she just trying to sell everything off and basically X us out.
Yeah, because if there was no will, then it goes to the three of you
Exactly.
kids. Unless there's other kids, or I don't know who.
Yes, ma'am. And I actually gave, I'm sorry to interrupt you, I'm not trying to. I actually gave you the paperwork. I showed you guys the because I've talked to a lawyer and I've been talking to them. They showed me the deed.
I love it when people interrupt court and say, I'm sorry to interrupt you. I don't mean to. I'm sorry. But then they don't stop talking. They just keep going. So they're going to finish their point. So yeah, that means you did mean to interrupt. I don't know how you can apologize for it and then not stop talking.
How she mislabeled the deed. They was like, basically everything that she's doing is going against probate laws. They were like, when she sell property, all three of us supposed to get a separate check.
Oh man, she did that yesterday too. I didn't notice she did it today. She did it yesterday. I'm gonna guess that they typed it in, and because she was the judge yesterday and today, they didn't have to change it. So if she's the judge again tomorrow, it's probably gonna be that way. Oh man, yeah, it's bothering me now too. Thanks for pointing that out. Now I can't stop looking at it.
My sister has sold my dad's club for $280,000 and chunked me a $40,000. Chunked me whatever she wanted. She chunked me a $40,000 check. I have copies of the check, out of her account. She's doing things as if she runs everything, and at this point, we have no way of communicating with her because, like I said, her phone number has changed. We don't have an email address on her. And I work from Amazon. I work 45 days a week right now. I drive. I can't always commute down there to go try to talk and argue with her. I've talked to the people that she tried to sell it to at first, and they told me straight up just to go get a lawyer. They were like, because you have to fight it.
All right. Well, I'm going to reset this for you to get a lawyer, but you need to, next time you're here, you need to have something in probate or have some kind of.
I'm gonna go to file the thing to change the executor so I can start that process, and I'm gonna show them all the paperwork I have, the deeds that I have, and everything else, just so they can get a background of what she's doing. Because I've actually tried to talk to the lawyers that she hired from my dad's account, and they would not even speak to me, ma'am, even though I'm a beneficiary. They would tell me straight to my face, if you're not Cherie, we're not gonna talk to you. So I have to go through the courts.
You have to go through. Yeah, you need a lawyer. Okay. There's
Yes,
a title dispute. So I'm going to reset this for 30 days and
Yes,
then
ma'am.
you need to have something
Yes, ma'am.
to move forward in 30 days. Okay.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. I appreciate that. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you. Good luck to you.
Yes,
Cause
ma'am.
number
Bye-bye.
41.
All right. All right. I thought that one was interesting. Interesting enough where we're going to see these two again. We are. Judge Brown. It is Judge Brown. She introduced herself at the beginning of every docket. And so it is Brown. It is misspelled there. It is actually Brown. How many times can I say that in a short amount of time? Anyways, she had a great docket today. I've got a couple videos from her coming out over the next 2 days because, as I told you guys at the last break, I am headed back to Ohio tomorrow. So I will not be live tomorrow night. There will be no Cooling with Colin tomorrow night. I've made 3 videos. I'm going to release 2 of them tomorrow, 1 of them on Thursday. My goal is to be home by about maybe 2 or 3 in the afternoon on Thursday and potentially get a video together for Thursday night. No promises. It's going to be about 50-50. Now, I always say that, and this is the 3rd time I've made this drive, and the last 2 times I got home and I was just too tired. I didn't go live, but it's a possibility. So if not, I will. If I'm not streaming Thursday, I'll see you guys on Friday. There we go. That's what I wanted to say. Uncle Dan, thank you for the super chat. Colin, can you tell us whether this is Judge Brown? I'm not that. No, it's Braun. Brawan. Judge Brawan. That's what it is. That's what it is. Thanks, Dan. I do appreciate the super chat. All right. That's all I have. All right, who are we gonna raid? I'm gonna guess we're gonna raid Lone Wolf. That's what my guess is. Let's see who's on. And yep, we're headed to Lone Wolf. Okay. Make sure you guys tell Lone Wolf I said hello. So everybody, thank you so much for hanging out with me. Biggin, thank you again for the raid. I appreciate it. Thank you for the super chats, the membership milestones, the PayPals. You guys are awesome. Mods, as always, thank you for your hard work. Go tell Lone Wolf I said hello, and I will see you maybe Thursday night. If not, Friday, definitely. Have a great rest of your week. Until next time, bye.
On E25074.